From Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, chapter number 4, text number 3. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Thereafter, Sati left her husband, Lord Shiva, who had given her half his body due to affection. Breathing very heavily because of anger and bereavement, she went to the house of her father. This less intelligent act was due to her being a weak woman. Purport. According to the Vedic conception of family life, the husband gives half his body to his wife, and the wife gives half of her body to her husband. In other words, a husband without a wife or a wife without a husband is incomplete. Vedic marital relationship existed between Lord Shiva and Sati, but sometimes due to weakness, a woman becomes very much attracted by the members of her father's house. And this happened to Sati. In this verse it is specifically mentioned that she wanted to leave such a great husband as Shiva because of her womanly weakness. In other words, womanly weakness exists even in the relationship between husband and wife. Generally, separation between husband and wife is due to womanly behavior. Divorce takes place due to womanly weakness. The best course for a woman is to abide by the orders of her husband. That makes family life very peaceful. Sometimes there may be misunderstandings between husband and wife, as found even in such an elevated family relationship as that of Sati and Lord Shiva. But a wife should not leave her husband's protection because of such a misunderstanding. If she does so, it is to be understood it is due to her womanly weakness. So, this idea of, marriage isn't working out, so let's get a divorce. Of course, formally, in India anyway, they wouldn't have divorce, but they had polygamy. So if the wife doesn't work out, just get a second one. Keep the second one on the side, the first one on the side. Now the second one becomes the primary wife. That was the system. Even Prabhupada is an interesting story in this connection. In fact, I'm going to read Prabhupada's own words. Because he didn't find his wife to be very compatible. He didn't feel like it was compatible at all. So Prabhupada tells this story. He says, so I think I've spoken about my own life. You know that I was a married man. So after being married, I did not like my wife, and then Prabhupada chuckles. Somehow or other, I did not like. I must say, she is very faithful, very everything. Everyone prays, but I did not like somehow or other. So I was preparing for next marriage. Because in India at that time, it was allowed a man to marry more than one wife. Now the law is there. So my father, he was a saintly person, so he called me one day and he said, my dear boy, you're trying to marry again. I request you, don't do that. You do not like your wife? That is a great fortune for you. Then Papa laughs again. So I gave up that idea of marrying. Yes, so now I'm realizing my father's blessing. Yes. And if I had been too much attached to my wife, then I could not have come to this position. That's a fact. So my ethical point of view, from spiritual point of view, to become too attached to wife is an impediment for spiritual advancement. So, even if in a married life you think, well, this, isn't really compatible, I don't like him or I don't like her, it's no good. Get another one. But that's not a good mentality, you see. Once you take it as a great blessing, if you're not too much attached, it's very good. The more you can become detached from this male-female thing, it's very, very good, you see. Because if we want to actually experience, it's like now we're in Vrindavan, you see. We want to actually experience Vrindavan, we have to come without any material desire in the heart. We have to clean our heart of all material desires. Just like Narottam Das sings in his beautiful prayers, Lal Samayi Pratana. Vishaya Shadiya Kabe Shuddhabe Mana Kambe Hama Herabo Shri Vrindavana. Prabhupada tells process to actually taking this dust. Right now you're sitting in this room, there's dust on the floor. Prabhupada said taking the dust at Vrindavan means taking the dust from Krishna's lotus feet. So you can imagine the potency of this place. We're actually sitting here. I had some dirt. I just got some dirt off the floor. This is the dirt from Krishna's lotus feet. That's the great power of this place. So to actually experience that and relish the nectar and taste the ecstasy of being in the holy place of Krishna, directly in contact with the touch of his lotus feet, even breathing it. You have to come to Vrindavan without any material motives. Not that I'm coming to Vrindavan to look for a girl or a guy or get together with a girl or a guy. This is not a place to get a match. Look for getting a match, a mate. This is a place to say, okay, kick out all material desires. As I many times explained, that great Vaishnavacharya, Jamunacharya Albandra of South India, he was really, really entangled with women. He was a king, he had a harem. And a harem means, well, you can have sex with this one tonight, have this sex with that one tomorrow night, the day after that, another one, another. He had full facility with sex. Then he became a devotee. Became a pure devotee. But sometimes you can remember, oh yeah, I remember all those girls and how I enjoyed with them in the bed and all this and that. Those memories come onto his brain. So he said, Yadavani mama chit Krishna padara vinde Yavanava rasadamam yantaram tuamasit Tadavari bhattamari sangame smaryamane Bhavadi muku nishtiva namcha. Whatever, ever since I've been engaged in the transcendental loving service of Lord Sri Krishna, relishing sweeter and sweeter nectar in that divine association, whatever due to my past activities, I remember having sex with all those girls, my lips curled with distaste and I spit at the thought. And those of us who are in the hippie movement, we have to follow that example, because we had hippie, there was so facility for sex like hippie movement. So those of us who are formal hippies, we have to really remember this instruction of Jamunacharya and practice it to keep ourselves pure. Because this is this attraction between male and female is what brings us back into bodily consciousness. How can I be attracted to a woman unless I'm thinking I'm a man? You see, or how can I be attracted to a man unless I'm thinking I'm a woman? But I'm not a woman, I'm not a man, I'm not this body, I have nothing to do with this thing, it's just a vehicle I'm using right now. Whether it's a Chevy or a Ford or a Toyota, it's not me. You see? The trouble is, as soon as we get attracted to the opposite sex, we start thinking that we actually feel, act, think, and speak as if we are these bodies. That's why we have to detach ourselves. That's why even in married life we have regulated principles. Brahmachari, brahmacharini. Unless the couple is having sex life or producing a child, and that's what Prabhupada said, once in a month, 4 to 5 to 6 days after the menstrual cycle, and after the husband and wife both chant 50 rounds of japa. This idea is floating around ISKCON now that you don't have to follow that. That's the high standard. You don't have to really do that. This is a bogus philosophy going around ISKCON. I see so many material concepts creeping into ISKCON. Even the dress style, Prabhupada didn't like all these mustaches and beards. Everyone's keeping mustaches and beards. And the earrings. Somebody is a so-called famous kirtan singer. He has earrings all over his head. I mean, it's ridiculous. This is not Krishna consciousness. So we have all kinds of karmic consciousness coming in our movement now. Karmic consciousness. We have to be very careful. Look what happened in Christianity. You see. It's spoiled. Lord Jesus was a pure devotee. Prabhupada says he was Shaktivesh avatar, and look at his movement now. They're eating. You go to the church. On Wednesday night we had the potluck dinner. We're eating meat, eating beef in the church. As a kid going to the Presbyterian church, we'd eat meat in the church. I mean, it's so. If we're not careful, it's kind of follow the same pathway, and it's happening already. We have to fight against it. Karmic consciousness. You see, if I don't like my spouse, I can get another one. You know, it's okay. I got to find a compatible relationship. That's rubbish. Prabhupada said it's better to have a relationship you don't feel compatible. That's better. That's the best situation. Because that helps you to be detached. It helps you to actually take shelter of Guru and Krishna and actually realize Krishna. Prabhupada told me in one letter, he said, now you just qualify yourself to see Krishna face to face. That's what we should be shooting for, you see. Not how can I increase my sex life? How can I decrease my sex life? That's the move. So I can become qualified to actually experience Krishna face to face, eye to eye. Krishna is absolutely amazing. He's absolutely incredibly amazing. Ananda Chinmaya Rasatmatayam Manasu Yapraminam Pradimasam Svadatam Upesha Lila Yatenu Bhavanani Jajashram Govindamani Purusham Tamaham Rajami. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose glory ever triumphantly dominates the mundane world, how the activity of his own pastimes being reflected in the minds of recollecting souls as the transcendental entity of ever blissful cognitive rasa. That's what we have to do, you see. We have to learn how to connect with Krishna. We have to become detached from this male-female syndrome, which has kept us caught up in the cycle of birth for millions and billions and trillions and quadrillions of lifetimes. We should take nice lessons from Prabhupada's purport. He's making it very clear for us in his purport. We have to, if there's a weakness on the side of the male or the female, so they may want to break that marriage. But they have to understand it's not what I like that counts, but Krishna likes that counts. You say, but I have to do what I like, otherwise I'm not going to be happy. But don't you realize that's a disease? I have to do what I like, otherwise I can't be happy. That's the whole disease that got us here to begin with, in the material existence. Is it? I have to do what I like, otherwise I can't be happy. No. You are unhappy because you're trying to do what you like. That's the problem. You're trying to do what you like, and that's why you're miserable. You have to do what Krishna wants. So what does Krishna want me to do? You take that move. What does Krishna want me to do? Well, he wants me to surrender to the spiritual master. He wants me to obey the spiritual master, taking the order of my spiritual master to my very life and soul. Now, some devotees may say, well, that's too much. I can't do that. I guess I made a mistake getting initiated. I have to do what I like. Well, what can I do? I can pray to Krishna, I can save them. But if they don't want to follow my instructions, what can I do? Even the other day, one disciple, I gave an instruction to the disciple completely ignored it, walked away, didn't follow my instruction. If you don't want to follow my instructions, what can I do? It's my duty to save you, my disciples, to take you back to your original relationship with Krishna in the spiritual world, in any one of 5 primary rasas. That's my duty to take you back to that. But if you don't want to follow my instructions, what can I do? I can't put a gun in your head and say, follow me or I'll blow your brains out. I have to somehow convince you that you should obey me. You should be totally submitted to follow my orders. If you're not convinced of that, you don't want to do your own thing, well, all I can do is pray that somehow you'll come back to your senses. Disciple, Prabhupada told me in one letter, disciple means discipline. It doesn't mean just, like a dog walking up and down the street. This side, that side, this smell, this taste. No. You have to, Yatayatam Nishchalati Manna Shantalamashtanam Tatastato Niyanya Chat Atmanevi Yashanya. From whatever and wherever the mind wanders due to its flickering and unsteady nature, one must certainly bring it back under the control of the self. So I'm praying that I can do that. I know some of you are having difficulties right now. I'm praying to Krishna, I can save you, I can bring you back to pure devotional service. I'm begging Krishna. I'm here with Srila Prabhupada, with Madan Mahan. I was begging. I'm here begging Prabhupada also, my disciples who are in difficulty. I'm begging, please, my dear Srila Prabhupada, please bless me. They can understand the importance of being completely surrendered to Guru and Krishna and not following the dictates of their senses. Please, I'm just begging. And whether it happens or not, I have no control. I can just beg Krishna, beg Prabhupada, that I can be successful. My duty as a spiritual master. I've taken you all as disciples. It's my duty to see that you're going back to home, back to Godhead. If you don't make it, I have to take birth again. If you get caught up in serving your own desires more than serving Krishna, then you'll be taking birth again, and I'll be taking birth again too, to save you. So, kindly don't put your spiritual master in a difficulty that he has to take birth again to save you. Please don't do that. Please have kindness upon your spiritual master. Take his orders as your life, and so totally give yourself to the order of your spiritual master, doing what he wants, not what you want. Actually, you have to make what your guru wants, what you want. You have to amalgamate things. But my desire is simply that my every thought, my every word, my every deed, in every situation will give unlimited pleasure to my spiritual master. You have to train yourself to be in that mood, and then you'll feel really good because you're doing what you like at every minute. You see, you have to learn to dovetail what you like with what the spiritual master wants. And once you train yourself to be in that mood and that consciousness, then nothing will ever disturb you ever again. You'll be in a state of bliss constantly. So I've spoken here for a few minutes. If there's any questions, I can try to answer them. Guru Maharaj, you want to add something?
First point you made about Srila Prabhupada and reading Prabhupada's comments, does that apply to the woman who can have many husbands also?
So the question is, can a woman have...
Many husbands?
No, it's not legal now. Polygamy is not legal.
I'm just saying, even in previous time, or now also.
Was it possible? There were some rare cases where a woman had many husbands.
That's only one I know.
Yeah, that sometimes happens.
Nowadays, like you said, Prabhupada wanted to marry, man can marry.
Yeah, but it's illegal now. You can't do it. So the Prabhupada said we could do it. One devotee actually.
The woman, I said the one devotee,
Yeah.
man can do this.
Yeah. No, it's not the... In the Vedic culture, it was generally only the man who would marry many wives. Only that one exception when a woman had many husbands. That was a rare case, yeah.
That was accidental.
Accidental, yeah. The normal thing is, yeah.
Like you said, that a man doesn't like, so he divorces one and takes another one wife. And keeps them both together.
Yeah, that's the idea. This makes it very good. Just get a second one, and the other would just be like a maidservant on the side.
And the woman do the same thing.
Well, a man can't actually... No, neither can do it. It's illegal now. Nobody can do that. A woman can't do it, nor can a man do it. A woman can think, well, I don't like my husband very much, but I'll get another one and just keep it as a friend on the side. No. If you're married to someone, it's your duty, even though you don't like it, you feel it's compatible, it's your duty to stick with it. That lack of compatibility is actually a great blessing, because you keep your mind sober and fixed on devotional service. Anything else? Any questions? Yes.
So does it mean that in order to follow the spiritual master's instruction, my spiritual master has to be the same level as Prabhupada?
Who said that?
Does it, I'm just asking.
Who said that?
Ask him. Just ask him.
The spiritual master, Prabhupada, clearly states that even if one is not a liberated soul, if he's strictly found a liberated soul, he's as good as a liberated soul. So there's the answer right there. Prabhupada directly dealt with this question. You say, well, Prabhupada's disciples, my guru, Sankarshan is not on the level of Srila Prabhupada, so I don't have to really follow him. But that's not true, you see. Because I am strictly acting according to Srila Prabhupada's instructions. You have to exist to be as me as you would be to Srila Prabhupada. That's a fact.
Prabhupada said it like this: I may not be perfect, but I'm following the perfect.
I may not be perfect, but I'm following the perfect.
Allah even said, I may not be perfect, but I'm following the perfect. So that you have to take your spiritual master as good as God. I remember when I first heard that, I went, wow. Vishnujan Swami said, you have to take Prabhupada as good as God. I went, wow. And I realized, yeah, it's actually true. You have to take your spiritual master as good as God. Whatever he tells me, that's it. I have to follow it. It's really true.
Krishna says that. Srimad Bhagavatam. Acharya Mam Vijani.
Yeah, that's right. But to take the Acharya is my very self. So you should be so dedicated to your spiritual master, just as if Krishna himself was saying, do this and don't do that. That's how surrendered you have to be to follow your guru. Even if he's not Prabhupada, he's only a disciple of Prabhupada. That's a fact. That's a fact. If you take some other program, you're mixing in karmic consciousness. And you won't be successful in your spiritual life. You won't be happy in your quasi-Krishna
But
consciousness.
there is a new philosophy is going around, but we should not do exactly what the spiritual master wants, but what we want to within our
The
heart.
philosophy that's going around, you should do exactly what the spiritual master wants, but do what you want. That is karmic consciousness coming in to destroy our movement. Kali is trying to infiltrate our movement and destroy it from the inside. It's the personality of Kali's influence within, and he's entering into, he's trying to get in our movement and destroy it. Kali, yes. It's the Kali Yuga, and he's trying to destroy our movement from the inside with these bogus philosophies. That's
I'm
about
hearing again and again from the various devotees.
Hearing this again and again from various
Yeah,
devotees.
that means our movement is becoming polluted. It's becoming very polluted. Kali is becoming. We have to be very careful. This movement will be going another 20 years, and I'll be finished.
They don't keep that philosophy.
Jai Hare Krishna. So anything else?
Guru Mata
Yeah.
was saying,
Yeah.
So they don't only keep that philosophy within themselves, but they pollute the minds of others.
they don't keep this philosophy for themselves, but they pollute the minds of others.
They don't keep this philosophy to themselves, but they follow the minds of others.
Pollute the mind.
Pollute
Oh, they
others.
pollute the minds of others. Yeah, we have to be careful. I mean, there's so many bogus things going on in this kind. I mean, just all the beards itself is a bad sign. Prabhupada said we have to be clean shaven. My godbrother Jamadagni, he went in front of Prabhupada with a mustache. Prabhupada didn't like it. He raised the point of the mustache, and Jamadagni said that Prabhupada, you had a mustache when you were a householder. Prabhupada said that was before my diksha. So this idea of keeping a beard, and so well, it's Kartik one may say, but Yashodananda and Nirakrina Maharajas were having beards in Kartik Prabhupada didn't like it, they immediately shaved. So this idea of beards going around ISKCON, you'll see maybe 200 or 300 beards in the ISKCON complex. Mustaches, beards, Prabhupada is totally against it. So all this pollution is coming in our movement, and we have to be careful. We don't become polluted also. That's why you have to find out those who are strictly following Prabhupada, take shelter of them and strictly follow them, and then you're properly situated, and you actually become qualified to see Krishna face to face in due course of time.
Sometimes we take advantage of our friends. Sometimes devotees take advantage of the friends.
Sometimes devotees takes advantage of their friends.
Take advantage of their friends. In what way?
In their own mental condition.
In their own mental condition.
Asat Sangha Tyaga, they cannot leave the bad association. They have to associate with the friends.
In other words, they associate with devotees who are karma mishra bhaktas.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's karma mishra bhakta, mixing sense gratification with Krishna consciousness. Karma mishra bhakta. We want Shuddha Bhakta, pure Shuddha Bhakti, pure devotional service, not Karma Mishra Bhakta or Jnana Mishra Bhakta or Yoga Mishra Bhakti, I mean to say. Yeah, the devotees who want to mix in material sense gratification with Krishna consciousness is Karma Mishra Bhakti. So we take shelter of those persons, we take them as our guides, and we're finished. We have to find those devotees who rejected Karma Mishra Bhakti, who rejected Jnana Mishra Bhakti, who rejected Yoga Mishra Bhakti, and only understand Shuddha Bhakti. That's where you have to take shelter. That's where you should get initiated, that's where you should take shelter, and that's where you should obey. Because that will liberate you from this material existence. Anything else? Anybody has any other points? Only hearing Guru Mataji and Nandavardhan and stuff, right? Anybody else? Yeah, go ahead.
Jagudev, somebody wrote the question.
Okay.
What are the prescribed duties of a husband and wife in Grihastha life?
Prescribed duties of a husband and wife in Grihastha life are to facilitate each other's pure devotional service. A husband's mood actually, the husband is supposed to be more renounced. The wife wants children, the husband has a duty though to give his wife the children. And of course the regulated principles are there, only sex once a month, after 15 rounds of japa, 4 to 5 to 6 days after the menstrual cycle, because that's when she's most likely to get pregnant. They shouldn't be having illicit sex. It's not that they're lovey-dovey, kissing and hugging and all that kind of stuff. That's not Vedic culture. That's karmic culture. They facilitate each other's spiritual advancement. They help each other in preaching. Just like Guru Mataji and myself, you see. We're a preaching team. She facilitates my Krishna consciousness, and I facilitate her Krishna consciousness. We are Vanaprastha, of course, for not having sex life or producing children, but for even Grihastha, it's the same thing. We're Vanaprastha. But even Grihastha, it's the same principle. You facilitate her liberation, and she facilitates your liberation, and the liberation of all your kids. That's the duty of the householders, not only their own household, but actually, as we're followers of Lord Chaitanya, not only are we empowered and have the duty of delivering our own family members, we have the duty of delivering the whole world. That instruction was given to a householder, not to a sannyasi. So householders also have the duty to make the whole world Krishna conscious. You see, your duty is to be Krishna conscious and make the whole world Krishna conscious. That's our family business here at ISKCON. You be the pure devotee, now you make the whole world Krishna conscious. As I said 100 times, we pray that way every morning. By hearing the singer, hearing the singer, may Lord Nishingadev dwell within my heart, killing all my bad propensities. This is Prabhupada's translation. So my mind becomes completely clean and I can bring peace to the whole world. Does that mean, is that peace something other than Krishna consciousness? Just like, a peace between France and Germany? No. That peace means Krishna consciousness. So we're praying the duty of every ISKCON member, and I'm specifically telling you, my disciples, as your guru, I'm ordering you, you must be a pure devotee, and you must give your life for making the whole world Krishna conscious. That's your mission. Be a pure devotee and make the whole world Krishna conscious. You're all ordered by me directly, each and every man, woman, children, everyone. You have that duty to be a pure devotee and make the whole world Krishna conscious. Any other questions? Yeah.
Another point you made, that the spiritual master has to take the birth.
Yes.
The disciple does not follow that.
The disciples become deviated, yes.
Yes, so
If
when
there's,
the disciple become deviated, why the spiritual master has to take?
my understanding is the disciple completely rejects the spiritual master, he's not obliged. If the disciple is trying to be the pure devotee and he's having difficulty, the spiritual master takes birth to save him. But if you say, oh, Gurudev is just a rascal, I don't like this wife, I'm going to get a new wife, and I don't care what Gurudev says. Who cares? Gurudev just a bunch of hot air, I don't want to follow Gurudev. So I'm not obliged to take birth of such a person, you see. He rejects my orders and just wants to do their own sense gratification. I have no obligation to take birth of such a rascal. But if one who's sincerely trying to be the pure devotee and having difficulty, for them I advise to take as many births as necessary to save them. If I take 1,000 births, it doesn't matter at all. I'll take that. And anyone who's sincerely trying, I'll take 1,000 births if I have to save you.
But somebody sincerely trying out of the regulative principles.
What is it?
Somebody sincerely trying out of regulative principles?
Someone sincerely trying to break the regulated principles?
Yeah.
I'm sincere about it. No, if someone is intentionally breaking the regulated principles, they're not a surrendered devotee. They're serving their senses. They're not serving their spiritual nature. I don't care what Gurudev says. This feels good. I'm going to do it. Even the philosophies there at ISKCON, it's shocking. Even one of my Guru godbrothers says, illicit sex is okay with your wife as long as you don't do it every day. Every other day is okay. One of my own godbrothers, it's on YouTube. What is illicit sex? He's preaching such bogus philosophy. I don't know whether GBC doesn't put a stop to it. Yeah, tell me.
I'm not talking about that.
Yeah?
I'm talking about one thinks that they can go on making principles or they can go on having an illicit relationship and they can progress while they're chanting and they are going.
What is having an illicit relationship? A married person is having an illicit relationship outside of the marriage with someone else, like a paranor, you know. Their chanting will be offensive. They can't become a pure devotee in such engaging in a paranor relationship. Or even if they say, well, let's make it legal, get a divorce, it's still a paranor thing. You know what Prabhupada said? Actually, Lord Chaitanya says, in the Anchalila, a woman who rejects her husband is a prostitute. And somebody goes after such a woman, they're called, Dasi Pita, a prostitute hunter. So a woman who rejects her husband, Lord Chaitanya directly states in the Anchalila, you can see the verse, you can look it up, chapter 7 I think it is. A woman who rejects her husband is a prostitute. And somebody who goes after a prostitute, they're called the prostitute hunter. You see, you can't be a prostitute hunter and make spiritual advancement. You won't.
Even if they go and follow you?
They're not following. It's It's offenses about chanting, you see. You commit sins on the strength of chanting, you're not going to become a pure devotee. Because you continue sinning, but you think by chanting you can make it okay. No, you won't. Because you're not following these scriptures, you're not following your spiritual master, you're following your damn senses, and they'll take you to hell. They'll take you to lower species in your next birth. You see? You can be a pig in your next birth. Eating stool. Seriously. I'm serious.
Aren't we eating the stool in this lifetime when we are doing that?
Huh?
Aren't we eating stool in this lifetime if we are doing like that?
If I'm running after a paramore, I'm already eating stool. If I'm a prostitute hunter or a prostitute mentality person, I'm already a stool-eating pig. Even in this present body, just a stool-eating pig.
This is the 2 legs, huh?
Two-legged pig, that's right. Deepada Pashu. Shvavadara Ushta Karai Sam. Egg minute. Svavada Ushtara Karai Samsita Parishak Pashu. Now Jatakama Pato Peta Jatanamagar. Men who are like dogs, hogs, camels, and asses, praise those men who do not listen to the transcendental pastimes of Lord Shri Krishna, who liberate from all evil. So now we've been in quest to clear the space. Our wonderful Brijavasi associate here has humbly begged us by ordering us to leave. And I told him 1 minute and he said, okay. So because there are more people who like to come for darshan or Prabhupada's mercy. So we'll go ahead and stop here. We thank everybody for tuning in. Please take these instructions very, very seriously. And if you do so, I guarantee you, very soon you'll become qualified to see Krishna face to face. Thank you very much. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.